Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley and today I'm going to be teaching you how to create something that is actually my most requested tutorial ever. Can you guess what we're going to be creating today? I sure hope you do because it is the most requested one. But what we are doing today is we are going to be creating something for free in a program called Inkscape. Inkscape I've used for years. If you know nothing about Inkscape, you can make your own SVG files, custom SVG files, you know, all those like really cool Disney characters and the copyright characters. You can create your own. You can make your own laser files, you can do embroidery files, you can do 3D printer files, and it's all for free. I've used this for years. So the most requested tutorial that I have been requested is to teach you how to make your own custom rhinestone and bling files for free. And today, I'm going to show you how to do it. And honestly, it is going to be so easy. You're going to think it's too good to be true, but it seriously is so easy. I'm going to show you how to create your own shape within Inkscape. I'm also going to show you how to insert a text box so we can create our own rhinestone file. And then I'm just going to show you how you can download an SVG file and create it yourself that way as well. So I'm going to be able to show you all the things today on how to create your own bling rhinestone project for free using Inkscape. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. If you're unfamiliar with Inkscape, this right here is your very first screen that you see within Inkscape. The very first thing we want to do here is we want to create a simple shape. So coming over here, these buttons right here on your left-hand side, those are going to be your simple shape buttons. You can do a square, a circle, and then there's this one right here that's a star or a polygon. So I'm just going to do a star. So I'm going to click on this star, and up here you're going to either have a star or a polygon. I'm going to make sure and click the star, and all stars have 5 corners, so I'm going to make sure it has 5 corners. When I'm done, all I'm going to do is click on my mouse and just make my star however size you want. It doesn't necessarily matter the size. You just want to make sure that it's on your screen. You can resize it here in a little bit. Once you have your shape on your screen, all you want to do is just let go. So this right here is your shape. Okay, when I have the shape done like I want, all I'm going to do is come up here and I'm going to press this arrow tool. This is going to be your selector tool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this onto my screen, and your screen is just this work area that's right here. All right, now here is the deal. When it comes to making your own rhinestone bling cutouts, you want to be very certain that when you make them, that your shape that you have is the size that you're wanting your finished rhinestone project to be. This is very important. You do not want to resize anything later because it will all then be not the correct size for your rhinestone template. So what you want to do is resize this to the size that you need. Coming up here for right now, I am just going to click from millimeters up to inches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this right here. This is just going to make sure that when it is locked, that my width and height are going to be shrunk proportionately. If you wanted to unclick this and we were going to change this over to 5 and press return, you can see that the width of my star shrunk, but my height of my star stayed the same. So if you wanted to make sure and make it proportion, you would just click on that lock, and let's just change the width to 5 inches. When I did that, everything shrunk proportionately. Okay, so that is how you just make a simple shape. So we're gonna put this shape up here just for right now. Now what I want to do is show you how to insert your own font inside Inkscape. So for this, what you want to do is come over here to this button right here. This right here is your text box. You want to click on your text box and just click anywhere for right now. Then what you want to do is insert your text. I'm just going to use my name for this project. You can put any text on here that you want. When I'm done inserting my text, what you want to do now is choose the font that you're going to be using for this project. So for me, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to press this text and font. If this box isn't already popped up for you, you can just come down here and click this T button, and this will bring up this box right here. So just to show you, I'm going to exit out and I'm going to click that T box, and then this pops up. Now at this point, what you want to do is choose the font that you're going to be using for your project. Then when you have found a font, which I have to tell you that choosing a font is always the hardest part of any project, but then when you have it finally figured out, all you want to do is press apply. So this right here is going to be my custom rhinestone template. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here into this arrow tool and I'm going to click on it. At this point, the same thing that we did with the star, you want to resize this to the size that you need. Your finished rhinestone template, resize it to that size. So for this one, let's do 8 inches. You can make it any size that you want because it is your project. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over here, because now what I want to show you is how to import your own basic SVG or PNG file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a blank window in my internet browser, and let's just put in Mickey head PNG and press return. Mickey is like super popular, so let's just do something that's super popular. Now we'll come over here into images, and there is a bunch of these little Mickey images right here. Now what you want to do is just find a PNG file that you like. This one right here screams, I need to do it. It's going to be multiple colors, which is totally okay. I'm going to show you how to create a multiple color rhinestone project, but this right here, I like it, I'm going to use it. So how I'm going to use it is I'm going to right click on the picture and I'm going to put save image to download. It's going to go down into my downloads file, and I'm going to go into Inkscape again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that downloaded file that I just downloaded, drag and drop it into Inkscape. This box is going to pop up. Honestly, I have never used this box. I always just press OK. And there is our file that we just imported. All right, now what you want to do is resize this to the size that your finished project needs to be. So for me, that size is going to be, let's do 4 inches. And we're going to drag this over here, just out of the way. All right, we're going to have 3 rhinestone projects by the end of this tutorial. You're going to have a basic shape, you're going to have a custom name, and then you're going to have a Mickey head, which is great. I'm going to show it to you 3 ways just so you are going to know how to do every single thing you're going to want to know how to do. All right, the very next thing you want to do is come up here, and we are going to insert this square right here. Click on the square, and we are just going to make a square. You can make it any size right now because we're going to change it over here in a second. Now what you want to do is come up here into the arrow key. Just so we can see what we're doing, I am going to take this square and I'm going to make it a different color. So let's just come down here into this color chart and let's make it pink. Pink's my favorite color, so that's an easy one for me. So we'll make this pink. Now what we want to do is take this rectangle and we are going to come up here and we are going to send it to the back. Now what we're going to do is taking our very first piece right here. This is our very first and easiest project, right? We're going to take this and put it in here. Okay, when we create rhinestone templates, you're going to want your outside box to be larger than the shape or word that you are wanting to create, right? So now what we want to do, and this is why it wasn't really important about what size to make the shape because we're resizing it now. You want to make this rectangle larger than your shape, but not too large. You know, we definitely don't want to waste material, right? So you're just going to want to take this shape and make it any size you want. Okay, because we have multiple different things going on here, I want to create multiple of these squares. So what I'm going to do is with this pink one that I've resized with this star is I'm going to copy and paste this next rectangle. I'm going to drag this over here and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the star. I am going to create another rectangle that's larger than my name. I don't need it too large, I just need it large enough to where I'm going to be able to create my rhinestone template and not have any issues. If centering is important to you, we'll fix that here in a second. Now, because I have a third image that I want to do, we are going to take our little rectangle, copy and paste, or Command C, Command V. If you don't want to do your keyboard shortcuts, you can also just right click and it's right here, copy and paste. Also, the one thing that I would like to note is with Inkscape, they have the keyboard shortcuts here. And also when you go up at the very top, all the keyboard shortcuts are listed with the buttons that are connecting to it. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, so taking that rectangle, we're going to copy and paste. We are going to send it to the back, and then we are going to make this rectangle a little bit bigger than our image that we have added into Inkscape. Now that we have that done, for the people that it's driving crazy that my stuff isn't centered into our rectangles, what you want to do is select your corresponding square with your image, and we are going to go over here to align and distribute. Okay, when you have that clicked, all you want to do is just come over here and we are going to center it vertically, center it horizontally. Doing the same thing with all the other rectangles that we have going on here. Now that this one right here is nice and centered, let's just drag this down just so it's in my working canvas. I am going to zoom in. To zoom in on your keyboard, you just press the plus sign and it will zoom right on in. The next thing you want to do is you're going to insert a circle. So let's click a circle, and we are just going to make this circle any size. We're going to make it any size for right now, and then we're going to press this arrow tool. Now what you want to do is you want to resize this circle to the size rhinestone that you are going to be using. This is just as important as making sure that this star right here is the size of your finished product. So what you want to do is take your circle that you've just created. Mine looks more like an oval, so I am going to unlock this, and I am going to now change it from inches to millimeters because the sizing for rhinestones is in millimeters, and I want to resize this to the size of rhinestone that I'm going to be using for this project. So for this particular star, let's just do 3.8 millimeters for the width and the height. Now for this circle, it's going to be the same color as that box. That's going to be really hard to work with. So I'm going to change this over to a different color now. So just coming down here, and let's just change it to a teal. You can choose any color, but I would suggest making it a different color than what you have on your screen, just so it's easy for you. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to move this over to my next project over here, and I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to resize it. Now that I have a perfect circle up here, I'm going to lock this button and I'm going to resize this circle to the size that I want it to be for this particular project. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that because we have another project we want to work on. We want to copy and paste. There is our circle. Let's drag it down to our Mickey head. And I'm going to put it onto my box. This right here is just for me to remember what circle goes with what project. So we're going to take this circle and I'm going to resize my circle to 2 millimeters. Now let's go back up into the original simple shape that we're going to create. Taking this circle, I'm going to click this circle first. I'm going to press Shift on my keyboard, and then I'm going to click on my pink square. You're going to click on both those things. Then you can let go of your keyboard. Now you want to come over here to this align and distribute, and I want to take this circle and I want to put it into the top left corner of my square. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take this over to the top left and making sure it is at the very top. When you have that done, then what you want to do is select your circle, and we are going to come up here to edit at the very top, and you're going to go down to clone. Then you want to put tiled clones. I'm going to drag this over here just so we can see what we're doing. Okay, and at this point, this number right here, the rows and columns, if you were to leave it 2 by 2, essentially what that is you're going to have 2 rows horizontal and 2 rows vertically of your circles. So in total, you're going to have a total of 4 circles. That is not enough circles because we want to make sure and fill up this entire star. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rows and columns and I'm going to make it 50 by 50. Now this number right here is going to be different for everyone. It just depends on how big or small your rhinestones that you're using and also your shape. So this right here, you're going to change for your particular project. You want to make sure that this right here is set to simple translation. Then what you want to do is come over here to shift. Okay, at this point, what you want to do is over here at columns, do you see how we have 50 right here? We want 50 over here. If you have 40, put 40. If you have 100, put 100. Whatever numbers are down here, you want to put it up here. So for my columns, I'm going to do 50. Now going down here to shift Y, you want this to be 50 over here on the per row. Then for all the rest of this, I don't have anything changed over here. But then what I'm going to do is come over here to trace. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I am going to click on this. I'm going to change this over to color and unclick this presence. And then I'm just going to uncheck that. Okay. Now when we're done doing that, all you want to do is press create. And do you see all those circles that just popped up? That's exactly what we wanted. Now there's going to be a lot of circles on your screen, so let's just take this and we'll just exit out of it. And we will back up. That was a lot of circles for me. I definitely did not need 50 by 50, right? So let's just take the circles I don't need. So I'm going to drag everything out of the way. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to select the circles I do not need. This just eliminates a lot of confusion. The circles that I don't need, let's zoom in, pressing the plus sign on the keyboard. The circles I don't need are the circles that aren't even inside or anywhere near close to the star. So all of these circles that don't even touch the star color or anything like that, we're just going to delete. Now I would suggest keeping a few extra ones, like you're going to see that I did not delete these right here. That is because we may use them here in a second when we go to finish customizing our design. So you just want to make sure and delete all the circles that you know for sure you're not going to need for this design. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out with the minus key on my keyboard. Your shape is going to look funny. I know mine does, but that's okay. We're going to revisit this in a second. Now let's go over to my name. Now over here, we're going to do the same process as we did the first time. We're going to click on the circle, press shift on the keyboard, and then the square. And we're going to make sure that it is going to be in the upper left corner of our rectangle. Click out of that and then only click the circle. We're going to come up to edit, clone, and then tiled clone. Now, here's the deal. I forgot to mention this, which hopefully it was already there for you. But if this right here was already selected, that means that everything else that we have going on that we've already done. So when we added in the circles, when we did our 50 and 50 on the shifts, when we went over to trace, when we did the color, if this was right here, all of this should be already done for you. If it was, then you would just press create. And here is going to be our design. If it wasn't, you would just have to redo this. 50 and 50 is how many circles that I want. On shift, you want to make sure that 50 is over here in the second column. Then what you want to do is make sure that 50 is down here on the row. Then you want to come over here to trace and make sure that this right here is selected to color. Okay, when we are done doing that and I like what I see, I am just going to click on the X. And we're going to be doing the same thing as what we did over at the star. We are going to delete the circles that we do not need for this project. Okay, so I've deleted all the unnecessary circles that I don't need for my name. I'm just going to zoom out and do the same process over here with this Mickey head. I'm going to click on my circle, shift on my keyboard, and then my square, and I'm going to make that circle go into my top left corner. Then what I'm going to do is click out of that, and I'm only going to click the circle. Then I'm going to come up to edit, and then clone, create tiled clones, and because everything was saved for me, I'm just going to press create. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is exit out of that. And we're gonna do the same thing as what we've done before. We are going to delete all the circles we do not need for this project. Okay, now what I want to do is just zoom out. Okay, going back over into the star. Now the concept for all three of these are now honestly the same. Once you get the very first easiest project, the rest of it's going to be really easy outside of doing that Mickey one, because there's going to be a couple color changes if you wanted to do that. But we'll get into that here in a second. So going back over into the star, most of these stars just line right up in place where I want it to be, right? However, there are certain things that I need to rearrange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one circle and I'm going to put it where I want it. Now, obviously, that the spacing is going to be a little different and a little skewed at this point. I'm not going to resize any of my circles. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to maneuver them around to where I will get more of a shape with my rhinestones. Because right now, if I were to delete this circle, you're not going to have like the tip of your star in as your finished project. That's a problem, right? If you mess up, like let's say you accidentally deleted a circle you didn't want to, all you would need to do is press Control-Z, which is undo, and that'll take you back to where you were just at with your last circle that you deleted. Okay, when I have, and this is where I told you like it would probably be best if you left some stars or some circles, is because like this one I don't need, but just in case I kept it there just to make sure. I don't think I'm going to need that, so I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to maneuver these in just a little bit, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did in the previous row. I'm going to make sure that I have my circles put into where I need them to be for the star. It's okay if the spacing is wonky because we're going to change that. Don't be worried. Okay, when you have that line done, I am just going to select right here. Same thing, align to the top, evenly distribute, and click out. This is going to be the left side of my star. Okay, going up to the next line, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, making sure that everything is nice and aligned, making sure that my circles, you're not wanting to resize the circles, but you want to make sure that they are in your shape and that they're nice and aligned. So going row by row. Now, obviously, the larger rhinestones that you use, the less rows you're going to have. So this isn't going to take that long if you have bigger rhinestones. And we're just going row by row. Now, when you have all of your circles put into your shape, what you want to do now is selecting the shape. So mine's going to be a star. I'm going to click on it and just delete it. This is going to be your finished template file. If you like it, then we'll want to continue. If you don't, then what you want to do is Command-Z, which is go back, and you want to keep realigning your stars until you get the finished template that you're going to achieve. So for me, I'm going to take this star and I'm just going to delete it. Now what I'm going to do is select all of my circles. So all of these circles that are inside my rectangle. You want to make sure that you don't click the rectangle though. So clicking just the circles, we want to Command-Shift, which is the plus sign. It's going to weld them all together. If you don't want to do your keyboard shortcuts, going up in here to Path and then Union is the Command-Shift plus sign. Now you want to select both pieces. So you're going to select your welded circles, and then you're going to select your square, and you're going to Command-Shift and the minus key, which is slicing, or if you didn't want to do your keyboard shortcuts, you would just go to Path, and then you would do Difference. And this right here is your finished rhinestone template, your custom rhinestone template. Now, this right here is going to be the same process as what we did before. All you're going to do is just put in the circles where you want them to go. Now, obviously, when it comes to fonts, it might be a little bit different and a little bit more difficult to do because like this one right here, the size rhinestone that I chose for this template, it's not going to fit 2 in a row, right? So either at that point, what you would do is you would resize your rhinestones to another size that you're going to be using, or you would choose a different font. You know, the possibilities are really endless. So if you wanted more rhinestones, you would obviously need to change over and be really selective over the fonts that you use. So all you want to do is the same thing as before. You just want to replace all of your dots inside your font. And do you see how, like, because I'm squishing them in a little bit more, I'm actually taking dots from other places. You could copy and paste these also, but it's just, for me, I just feel like it's a lot easier if I have them available just so I can use them. And you definitely want to make sure that you are not changing the sizing of your circles when you do this, because we have sized this to the size rhinestones that you use for your project. If you change the size circles or anything at this point, you're going to have a big issue because your rhinestones won't fit inside the project. Okay, now that I'm done doing that, we're going to zoom out, and same thing what we did with that star. We are going to click on the name that you have and just delete it. If you like the look of this, which frankly I think I did a phenomenal job, all I want to do is select all of my little rhinestone circles, and I'm going to Command Shift and the plus sign, which is combined or welding, and then we're going to select both the rectangle and also my rhinestones, my little rhinestone circles, and I'm going to Command Shift and the minus key. So this right here is going to be your custom rhinestone template. All right, going back into the Mickey, honestly, like I said earlier, it's the same steps as what we did before. Okay, so I finally have my Mickey head looking exactly the way I want. Now here is the deal. If you wanted to create a design that you could replicate later, like let's say you forgot that you wanted to do a multiple color rhinestone project, we can create our own reminder template for later use. What I would suggest doing for this one in particular is I'm going to take all of the rhinestones at the very bottom over here in the red, and I am going to turn this over into red. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, clicking out of my rhinestone project. I'm going to select all of the rhinestones that I actually want to be yellow. So I'm going to click on one, Shift on my keyboard, and I am going to make all of these, just clicking. You're going to be clicking for a while depending on how big or small you created your circles. You want to select both, or if you have more yellow in your project, you're going to want to select all the yellow rhinestones that you plan on using. Okay, I'm going to change this over to yellow. All right. Now for this, just to make it real easy for me, I'm going to right click this and I'm going to press group, which is right here. You could also press Command G if you didn't want to do your keyboard shortcut. Okay, now we're going to zoom out, and at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the other bluish turquoise circles that we had. Those are going to be black for me, so I'm going to make sure and click on the black. Okay. For this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Command G, which is group. Okay, just for right now. Okay, then what I'm going to do is go back over into the bottom portion because we didn't group those red ones, right? So I'm going to select every red, or everything that's in the red. I'm going to press Shift on my keyboard and click on the yellow because now the yellow is deselected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Command G, which is group, and I just grouped them together. So it will look like your black circles are gone. That's because it's the same black. That's what's in the Mickey. But trust the process, it is there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to select all my circles that I've created. So you should have 3 grouped rhinestone colors if you decided to create the same Mickey as me. And I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate. And I'm going to drag it over here. Now for me, it looked like the image of the original Mickey head got selected with that, which is fine. All I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on my project and I'm going to click on my Mickey image and delete it. So when we zoom out, this is going to be my finished rhinestone project. If you like the look of this, then we're going to continue. If you don't like the look of this, you obviously need to go back and then do the same process as what we did before with readjusting all of your rhinestones to fit inside your project. I personally like this. So what I'm going to do is going back over into my original template, I'm going to zoom in and delete my Mickey PNG file that I dragged and dropped into Inkscape. Okay, zooming out. Now what I'm gonna do is selecting all of my circles that I have on my project. I'm gonna Command Shift and G, which is ungroup. So everything is in groups. When I do that, what I'm gonna do is Command Shift and the plus sign, which is weld it all together. When it's welded, we do the same thing that we've did before. So Shift on the keyboard, selecting our square, and then we Command Shift and the minus key. So this right here is our Mickey template that we are going to use. And this right here is going to be the reference, because right now this is real confusing, right? But this right here is going to be our reference for that project. Now at this point, what you want to do is save your SVG files, because these are going to be cuttable files that you can use in your Cricut, your Silhouette, anywhere that you have a craft cutting machine, you can cut them out. Now, if you do not want your stuff to be resized, what I would strongly suggest doing is Command A, which is select all. You could have just did this and select everything. We are going to come down here to stroke and we're going to right click. You're going to take this over and make it black. And then we are going to take our line width. We're going to right click and press 1. Now what you want to do is save your project. But here's the kicker. It has to fit inside this white box that's right here. If it doesn't fit inside the box, it is not going to save appropriately. So because I have 3 projects and they're obviously too big to fit all on one screen, what I'm going to do is select the stuff that's not going to fit on the screen and delete it just for right now. And I'm going to come up here to File and Save As. Now I'm going to save this as Star Rhinestone project, and I'm going to come down here to Inkscape SVG, and I'm going to change it over to a plain SVG. Then I'm just going to press save. Now with that saved, I am just going to Command Z, which is undo. I'm going to take this star and I'm going to drag it down here, and I'm going to put my name in here, and we're going to go to File and Save As again. So this one, I'm going to change it over to my name, and it's going to be saved as a plain SVG, so just press save. Going back, we're going to press undo, Command Z, and doing the same thing that we've done before. Okay, now let's test our work. We're going to go into Cricut Design Space, and we are going to verify that everything I just taught you is correct, and it's going to load up into Cricut Design Space. All right, let's go over into New Project, and we're going to click Upload. We're going to go into Upload Image, and then we're just going to find the file that we saved. Okay, let's just click on that Star Rhinestone SVG file that we created. Just press Open. There is our SVG file, and just press Continue, and then press Upload. Okay, so this file is 5.7 inches by 5.45 inches. Let's go back into Inkscape. This right here, it's 5.7 inches by 5.45 inches, which is exactly what we have here on Cricut Design Space. I sure hope you've had a fun time learning a little bit about Inkscape and how to create your own custom rhinestone templates. Now that I have finally covered the most requested video of all time for Inkscape, or for any project, frankly, I need to know, what else do you want to learn? Start requesting all of those in the comments of this video, and I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.